Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.
She's possessed.
Possessed?
That's the only explanation that makes any sense. I mean, you should have seen her last night. That wasn't Buffy.
Are we overlooking the idea that she may be very attracted to me? She's possessed.
Possessed by what?
Possessing thing.
Well, that narrows it down.
Well, you're the expert. Hey, maybe when the Master killed her, some mystical bad guy transference thing happened.
That's what it was. I mean, why else would she be acting like such a bitch?
Willow, I think we're all a little too old to be spelling things out.
A bitka?
Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, reviewing, reacting to every episode. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we are starting season 2. Exciting. First episode of season 2. It's titled When She Was Bad. It was directed and written by Joss Whedon. The original air date was September 15th, 1997, to an audience of 4.37 million people. This one opens up with a bang. This is a banger of an episode.
Does it open with a bang?
I mean, it opens with like some crazy revelations going on and some stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what the hell? Overall, it's a pretty action-packed and I don't know, it's a weird episode.
I wasn't a huge fan of this episode. I wasn't a fan of what they do. It's tricky to talk about it now with like the trauma, like they kind of doing like Buffy has trauma.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want to like dismiss her trauma, but we've seen traumatizing things happen and it not affect them at all. And we've seen the thing that caused trauma with her not affect her the time when it happened. Last episode. But
also there's a lot of character changes and stuff, it seems like.
Did you notice Xander's new haircut?
Oh, I noticed Xander's new haircut. You bet I noticed his new haircut. Are you a fan of it or are you not a fan of it?
Yeah. Well, like full disclosure, between this we watched the unaired pilot, so I'm all over the place with his look. I'm like, I can't remember. I'm like, what is his haircut? What is the staple look for Xander?
Yeah, I mean, this one's a lot shorter.
Yeah,
like the unaired pilot one, I think his best look. Mm-hmm. Season 1, he looks okay. Like this is a lot shorter, and I don't think it does him any favors.
All right, and welcome to Boys Watching Boys.
All right, should we get into the episode, Vance?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so the episode it's like a recap. Like Xander and Willow are walking through a graveyard and eating ice cream, and they're kind of like, wow, isn't it crazy that all that stuff that happened to us? Summer's crazy.
My first thought is, why are they so comfortable night strolling by a cemetery?
Right?
Like, I mean, even if they say summer's been slow, which they've been complaining about, because now they're like the guy from the first season that wanted to date Buffy for the Edge.
Owen,
yeah. Now they're like, oh, no one died this summer.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. Once the street lights come on, it's time to get back home.
Yeah, it's kind of wild where it's just their thought process is like, oh man, there's no undead vampires attacking the town every week.
Yeah.
What a boring summer.
Sunnydale's lame.
Yeah, what are we going to do? And so then they're playing a game where they're like quoting movies and it's like super dumb. And then Xander like kind of I mean, Willow asked him about Buffy, and he's like, oh, she's in Los Angeles all summer. And then Willow's like, oh, you miss her, don't you? And he's like, what? No, I'm completely over Buffy. Blah, blah, blah. And then he goes to kiss Willow.
Well, he does this like ice cream thing where he puts the ice cream on her nose, and it's from some movie. And then he like gets it off of her. I think, he's eating an ice cream cone, right? So he does on her nose, and then he's like, playfully goes to bite it. It's from some movie, and then he wipes it off with the napkin, and it gets all like romantic, and he starts leaning in, and you're just like, oh man, they're gonna kiss. And the lean-in editing time on this, they would have locked lips. Yeah, there's no hesitation. It was only TV hesitation and movie hesitation that stopped them from kissing.
Yeah, I've never been that close to someone's face before without kissing them.
Yeah. Like that sustained of a moment too.
It was like that Saturday Night Live sketch. You remember that digital short that they did? It was called The Close Talkers, and it was guys. Yeah. I think it was like Steve Martin and somebody, and they were talking at like make out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then just as they're kind of like about to smooch, a vampire attacks them or grabs them, and it's like, oh shit, oh, of course there are still vampires.
Yeah, and this again, the vampires throughout this episode are dumb, but the vampires in general are dumb. So I might retract my statement of being afraid of vampires, because they pose zero threat. Okay, you see two people. You could easily knock her over and fight him or do something. Like, what is your plan? He just pokes his head out like, hello.
Yeah, I mean, Willow's sitting on a ledge. You could just grab Willow from behind, yoink, take her away.
Yeah.
Like, instead the guy's just like, how y'all doing? Nice summer recap.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'll wait.
Yeah. But then Buffy shows up and kicks the vampire's ass and kills it, and and then they just kind of like, oh hey, what's up, Buffy?
Yeah, it cuts to Buffy showing up. She like kicks it into something, and it like gets stabbed on whatever she kicks it into, and disappears. You could tell the budget is up a little bit because a lot of vampires are disappearing. And then we cut to the title card, the intro, and then we cut back, and they're still on that same street.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, Buffy, how was LA? You do a lot of stuff? I'm just
I mean, it's like they just continue the scene.
It's insane.
But with Buffy now. Like, them just walking down. Like I'm surprised Buffy didn't have ice cream at this point.
She's like, oh, yeah, I got back. And I was like, I bet these guys are up to something. And I'm like, you didn't call. Like, there's no, like, cell phone call. She just, like, knew that they'd be strolling.
Well, Vance, it is 1997.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I know. I'm saying there's no cell phones. Like, she couldn't find out. Okay. I'm not saying she should have called.
I thought you were saying that she should have called. I was like, well, I don't know if
No, I'm wondering how she was like, oh, I know what they'll be doing. Strolling by the graveyard, eating ice cream.
Yeah. At their favorite hobbies.
And she didn't see them about the kiss? When did she comment?
I know, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, because there's nothing for her, it seems like at least a mile in any direction.
Well, it's also like, as soon as she shows up, Xander's all goo goo gaga over her again.
And I was like, oh, I forgot, we're going to stretch this thing out forever. Because I was like, if they kiss, I'm down. Because now we got like a fun...
Well, yeah, because then it's like, what happened over the summer?
Yeah.
You know? But instead, no.
Yeah, how have they not hooked up over that summer?
Right?
Just accidentally.
I mean, based off of that interaction, of course, it's like, yeah, of course they hooked up over the summer. But no, they haven't. But they say that that's the first vampire that they've seen since the Master's been gone. Buffy...
They mentioned that he's buried by the tree at the grave. And I'm like, why did they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and then like Buffy looks over at the burial site and she's kind of like weirded out and she's kind of got bad vibes about the whole thing. She's just like, which, understandable. She did get killed by the guy.
For like 2 seconds.
All right, cool.
And she came out and was like, I'm stronger than ever.
Well, we also had confusion about, like, is she a vampire at this point?
Yeah, but then we realized, we don't even know how you turn someone into a vampire yet. We haven't even learned fully.
Yeah, but she definitely was dead.
Oh, she didn't just die from the bite. She was face down in water.
Yeah, she was face down, drowned for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of that opening scene a little bit. And then the mom and dad of Buffy they're having a little conversation about how distant Buffy is being. And the dad has some kind of joke about like, oh, I took her shopping a bunch because it was the only time I felt close to her or whatever.
So the dad is now joined the mom in thankless role number 2.
Yeah.
And I think I think he might be there just to end up dying and being more traumatizing at some point.
Oh, you think so?
Like, do we need both of them?
Yeah. And I guess we are closer to the mother. So if the mom died, it'd be a weird addition to just have like the dad there now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would kind of be interesting. It's like the dad now has to like take care
Giles
of Buffy.
Is her dad.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like this is where Giles and the dad get upset with each other about like stuff.
Who should be raising Buffy, right?
Yeah.
She's my daughter. And then Giles is like, well, you should be taking better care of her.
She needs to be studying. She needs to be training in the finer medieval arts. Yeah.
I have all of this dated combat equipment.
Yeah. We know vampires don't like guns, and guns exist, but sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of that scene. Cordelia shows up, and she had a bad summer because she was supposed to go. I forget where she was
supposed to go to St. Croix, but instead she went to Tuscany.
Yeah. She's like, what a terrible summer. It's awful. And then Giles is talking to the principal. The principal is just trashing kids. He's just like, all these heathens running around my school. They're back from summer and I hate them. And Giles is like, do you ever think about not being a principal? Because it seems like you hate kids, dude.
I love the decision to have a principal who hates kids running a school. Like, I think that's just such a fun thing to do.
And he's going on about it too. Like he is like, these are all terrible human beings and they don't have any, they don't make good decisions and they need discipline and we need to strictly scold them all the time. And Giles was looking at him like, you're crazy. Like I fight vampires and you're the most insane person in this show.
And to be nitpicky, the last time we saw this school, Cordelia had driven through all of it.
Yeah.
So they just like, I was hoping he would bring up the construction that he had to do over the spring and summer.
That's true.
Like
they did have about 3 months.
That car was parked in a hallway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, it can't be that hard to replace because that school is made of cardboard. They probably just put some paper mache up there.
Yeah. Art class fixed it up.
So then after the principal's given this long monologue about how much he hates kids, Giles sees the hottie, Jenny Calendar. And then this is when Giles is at his most stammery, stuttery British man.
And it's being it's being narrated by the principal talking about the kids seeing each other and stammering over just hormones and lust. And Giles is reacting as if he's never seen this woman before.
Yeah. He's like, hello, Miss Calendar. Yeah. Do you have a lovely summer? And she's like, yeah, I did, Giles. How was your summer? He's like, I missed you.
I know. We don't run into each other in a small town because it's a school.
Yeah.
I mean,
so It's a one Starbucks town.
It's a one Starbucks town. What did I want to know what Giles did all summer, really.
He read books.
Was he not worried about vampires at this point? If Buffy
Why
left,
would he be?
Buffy just bounced?
Yeah, maybe he went to LA with her to watch over her there.
Do you think they filmed like 3 episodes of that?
There's probably like a side story comic book or something. Just no vampires in sight, just like Giles on Rodeo Drive or something.
Oh, I was thinking Giles goes to LA. It's like some fanfic of him in LA with Buffy doing like some secret mission.
I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, that'd be better. It'd be funny if there was no vampires in sight and it's just like a weird buddy cop romp.
Yeah, just Giles.
It's like Buffy's like, I want shoes, and Giles is like, you have to get to your training. Why was he Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I don't know.
Just like, you have to get to your training.
Get to the chopper.
So after Giles is stuttering all over Miss Calendar, is where the kids kind of reunite with Giles, Xander and Willow, and Buffy, and Buffy still being weird.
Yo, this episode has a lot of people just screaming out loud and no students overhearing it. Because Willow comes down and she's like, hey, Giles, Buffy killed a vampire last night. Like full volume in the middle of a crowded hallway.
Yeah, like kids are just walking by. And I mean, they have to know that vampires exist at this point. And that's
the thing I'm confused by. Like, they seem like they want to keep it a secret. But why?
Yeah, because after she does say that, everyone's like, hey, keep it down.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Dude, we all know that this shit's happening.
Shouldn't these kids know vampires are around? It should be like a vampire training course where he's like, like a self-defense course.
They should all be slayers.
Everyone should have to wear a crucifix.
Garlic.
Just, I don't know if everyone should have a stake, but maybe some holy water and some water guns.
Oh, yeah, dude. I would always be strapped with a fucking water gun.
Yeah.
A holy water gun.
A holy water gun. Yep. Oh, man. We are on one right now.
Yeah.
It's going to take us forever to get through this.
Yeah. So, okay, let's try to speed it up. So then we get Buffy training with Giles in a montage, and she's like way too intense, and she's going way too hard. And Giles is like, whoa, take it easy.
Giles shouldn't be training her.
Yeah, no, he's like 50.
What is the point of him holding up some pads?
No idea. But yeah, he's like, and Buffy's kind of like, there, you happy? We trained. And Giles is like, okay.
Well, she beats the shit out of that dummy. Like, knocks it off. A lot of stunt woman work in this one.
Yeah. So now we get to the new villain. There's a new vampire leader, and finally some diversity in the vampire ranks. We got a black guy vampire who's like talking all that end of days bullshit.
That vampire gospel.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, man, to become a vampire and then have to be going to church.
Right?
I'm all about the angel style of being a vampire. Just lone wolf it.
Why would you join a pack that you have to like study with?
Oh my god, you're trying to bring back the master.
Right? Yeah, so that's kind of the plan. They're like with the Anointed One, and they're talking about digging up the master and bringing him back to life and all this shit.
Why does the Anointed One look like a mini Steve Jobs with that like black turtleneck? Like, it's the weirdest. I was like, I thought the Anointed One was done.
Nah.
I thought we were done with the Anointed One.
No.
Yeah.
I thought we were when I saw the new vampire guy.
Yeah. I thought it was a whole. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a whole new. I was like, here's our new villain for the season or whatever.
Nope. Still the Anointed One. They're still, and then they're trying to bring back the Master.
Yeah, and the Anointed One held Buffy's hand and just walked her down into the lair. Last time we saw him, like he's not really. He doesn't seem like a threat yet, at all.
Yeah. I don't know. So then the next scene that we get is Buffy and Willow and Xander hanging out at school, and Buffy's being weird, and everybody's being kind of weird, and then Giles shows up and he attacks Buffy, like strangles her for a quick second.
When he slaps her, it's like pretty crazy.
It was wild to see. But as soon as you see that happen, you're kind of like, wow, this is a dream, you know? So yeah, he's strangling her, and then he rips off his face, and it turns out that he's the master. And that's when Buffy wakes up, and Angel's there stalking her.
And Angel is breaking the rule of vampiredom because he's already inside her room, and then he asks, "Can I come in?"
Yeah.
Oh, why did we even set that rule up for that one episode last season?
I mean, I watched a movie recently called Let Me In, and I think it was based off of Let the Right One In or something.
Oh, you watched
vampires.
the remake of it's like the...
with Chloe Grace Moretz.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she, like the kid opened the door and he was like, "What's the matter? Can't come in." And then so she comes in and her fucking face just starts melting and bleeding. He's like, it's okay, come in. And then everything's fine.
Like, all you have to do is like have them all come to the bronze, not invite them in, and have somebody push them all in through the doorway.
Yeah, dude.
But that rule doesn't matter. That rule does not exist in this world.
Well, I remember we were trying to figure out what that rule was about in this world, because is it like once you're invited into one place, it's like you're always invited in? You know, but he's just, I mean, number one, he shouldn't be in there just being a creep.
Yeah, I don't think they were, I guess they were on better terms at the end of last season.
I suppose so.
Yeah, because they all walk out together and go partying while she's in her dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she wakes up and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "The Anointed One is gathering people. You better watch out." And she's like, "Great, thanks." Back to some regular old Angel stuff.
Yeah. Vague information.
Yeah. And then like just as he's about to leave though, he turns over his back and he turns around and he goes, "I missed you." And then dips out.
Yeah. And then she thinks for a while and she turns back to say, "I miss you too." But he's gone.
She Batmaned her.
Yeah.
She was Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. He definitely. How did he do that?
Yeah.
We got to talk about this mopey Buffy. Not a fan. I know we're not supposed to be a fan, but my gosh, it's really... she's done a great job of playing the role, but man, if she was like this the whole series, it would be brutal.
Yeah, I mean, she's mopey and she just is lashing out at everybody and like, "I can handle everything. You stay back. You're gonna hold me back," and all that. And it's just like, ugh.
It's kind of all over the place though, too. You know?
Yeah.
It's not a real consistent. And if you want to go to real trauma, sure, it shouldn't be. It doesn't have to be consistent, but it just feels like we're just throwing stuff.
She's also a teenager, Vance. She's got hormones, going through that puberty, you know.
Yeah,
her first periods, vampires.
The biggest threat of vampires is period. Hey, like sharks in the water.
She's got blood. Yeah. She's got blood, man.
These vampires are so dumb.
They probably don't even know what a period is.
Xander and Willow are the horny ones, though.
Yeah. So, after this, Buffy is meeting up with Willow and Xander, and they're kind of having a debrief about Angel visiting her last night. And Willow's like, Did you kiss? Did you do anything with him?
She's like, "No. Was there groping? Was there groping?"
Yeah.
Xander,
so desperate, dude. And then Cordelia shows up and she's just like, "So what's up, guys? Did you deal with any demons or?"
Yeah. Wait, is this when she calls them the Three Musketeers? And she's like, "Oh, that's not an insult." And yeah, it's like, I think this might be the Three Musketeers. And they're like, "Oh, that's not an insult. The Musketeers were cool." And she's like, "I'm just saying it because the three of you always hang out together. By the way, did you kill any demons?"
Yeah.
This summer?
And then they like slam her up against the locker, like, "Shut your fucking mouth."
Yeah, don't talk.
Only we're allowed to scream about it.
Like, what are you talking about? All the demons. Remember last time I drove my car through?
Yeah.
It's like,
Just slap her around. Shut up. There's no demons in this town. Shut up.
and I don't know why they're keeping it a secret. What was the excuse? How did they explain that? How did they explain what happened in the school?
No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they make her swear to secrecy about the demons. She's like, chill out, guys. Like, I'm going to tell anybody. Like 2 scenes ago, Willow was talking at the same level about killing vampires. And like, of course, she was kind of reprimanded as well. But why are they're like being very aggressive to Cordelia.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess because she's extra dumb or whatever, but I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, and then Buffy says something really mean to her, like a really nice put down. Do you have that?
Oh, I don't. No. Yeah, I remember she does say something about like, it was something about how dumb she was.
Yeah, it was a really nice setup and comeback. Like the best Buffy has ever done, ever. Like,
yeah.
And it hit. Yeah, it landed.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I wish I could remember it. Oh, well, better notes next time. So then everybody goes to the bronze, of course.
Because Chibo Mato is playing, right? Is that who it was?
Yeah. Yeah. Are they like a real big band or something?
I was hoping you would know. I didn't even Google it. We're so bad. Don't tune into this podcast if you want information.
Yeah. We're just vague descriptions of what.
There was pictures and lights and sounds on the TV.
Look, all I'm saying is they're not in the guest cast. They're not in the episode description on Wikipedia, so they're not that important. That's all I'm going to say.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. But Xander and Willow were talking about how Buffy's been acting weird and mean recently, and then Xander's kind of still got the hots for her, and Willow tries to do that same thing with the ice cream to him, where she was like, "Oh, I thought that we were gonna make out," and then he looked over at her and he's like, "Oh, you got something on your nose."
It is the saddest Willow moment to date for me.
It was very sad.
The way she does it, the look on her face, her having to wipe it off her nose herself, the desperation of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything inside of me broke then. Like, I don't get overly emotional a lot, but man, it was
a very sad moment because Xander dismisses her, just like, you got something on your nose, and then he starts looking for Buffy again.
And for me, it's like, we've seen Willow stand up for herself before, and now she's like right back into that trap, and it just sucks, man.
It's a bummer.
I looked it up. Chibo Mato is an actual band. Yeah.
Were they big? Did they have any like singles?
I recognize the music, but I don't know from what.
Because they did have like basically an entire music video in this episode.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I remember when this happened, I was like, oh, the Bronze is actually getting like real musicians. Because remember that guy that Xander wanted to be at one time? Or the dude? Oh, yeah. So I was like,
that guy with that silver zipper, quarter zip. Ugh,
so I was 90s. Like, now the show's actually like got some juice. Now
they can afford can afford some indie bands.
Yeah,
like this is like the precursor to the OC where they had the Shins playing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So then we see the vampires digging up the body of the master in the graveyard because, well, they also say that it was like they put holy water around it or something.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, they. Giles says, "Yeah, we buried it and we put holy water in the thing and whatever." One, you can't bury something in a graveyard that's an active graveyard because those plots are like.
Yeah, someone else is
it's regulated. It's regulated. You can go to like a park and dig it up in the middle of the night or something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'm like, why didn't you do what Buffy does later? Like, why are you taking the skeleton and like, oh, let's put it whole in the ground?
Well, they had a lot of respect for the master.
Just take it to that what's that place that the funeral home and get it incinerated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can break into any building at night or before it opens in Sunnydale. So
yeah. That is very true.
Like, there's no one.
I never thought about that.
There's no one working pre-bar shifts or night shifts anywhere in this town.
Well, it's also like the Anointed One is there, and the vampires are digging up the master, and they're like, Anointed One? There's holy water all over this place. And the Anointed One's like, yeah, so keep digging. And like, dude,
why is he digging with his hands? Why don't they have enough shovels? What's happening?
Yeah, like
budget cuts in this vampire union. Like what's?
Yeah, and it's also like it didn't seem like the holy water was that damaging. Like he was just like, ow,
yeah. And it was like if he dug one more dig, he was there.
Yeah,
like it's so silly. But come on, man, you're vampires. You don't know how to do gloves, gardening gloves, anything. You guys haven't.
Yeah.
You've been living for thousands of years and learned nothing.
Just take off your shirt.
Like,
put it over your hands.
Hey, we're going to go dig up a body. Maybe we should bring more than one shovel.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Vampires are so dumb.
Yeah. So then we go back to the bronze and Buffy shows up and she's dressed all sexy. And then Angel shows up and he's like, hey, dude, what's up with you? She's like, what do you mean what's up with me? Nothing's up. You're a turd.
Might as well.
Yeah, she's being very cold. And then she asks Xander to dance, and then they're dancing very sexily in slow motion to Chibo Mato or whatever the name of that band is.
This is not a high school level party at all. This is adult.
They're not leaving room for Jesus here.
This is Red Light Diaries, man. This is Red Shoe Diaries. This is some... Yeah. No one on the dance floor is like just drunk and grinding like they would be in a high school. Like they're all, yeah.
Well, it's also like and I know that they're doing this because it's Buffy, but it's like they made a circle around Buffy and Xander and everyone's just staring. Like Willow's looking at it happening. Angel's looking at it happening. And they're like, what?
Cordelia's even there. Cordelia's even there looking like, what is going on? The blocking is amazing.
Well, it's also gotta suck because everyone's seeing this happen. They're like, something's up with Buffy. She would never do this with Xander.
Yeah, that happens later. And the whole time it's happening, Xander looks like the only thing that makes it high school, it looks like he's trying not to get a boner the whole time. That's all. Like he's not into it. He's not like not moving. It's something. Yeah, I don't know.
I think this because he's like, this isn't real. Like something's up with Buffy, and like this, she's not gonna be like this tomorrow or something. Like she's trying to get back. She's just using me, I guess. I don't know.
Has Xander matured to the level that he wouldn't just let himself be used?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like I don't know.
He looked sad though.
Yeah, it didn't look like what he would want. I don't know how he expects him and Buffy to ever hook up. Like, what does he think the moment will be like?
Yeah, I have no idea.
They'll both like get the wrong math equation, and they'll like, haha, we both got the wrong answer, and then touch hands or something. Like, I don't know how he envisions it.
Yeah. So they're dancing. And then I forget exactly what she says, but I think that Buffy says something like, hey, did I ever thank you for saving my life that one time? And Xander was like, I don't think you did. And then she turns around and like gets to like make out level of closeness to him. And she's like, well, did she thank him? I can't remember.
No, she says like, do you wish I would or something like that? It's
yeah.
It's like, I didn't know what to think at this moment.
Yeah,
and I was also trying to be like, when did he save her life? I guess, that exact last episode, maybe? I don't know.
Man,
I guess he gave her CPR.
He did.
Yeah. I was like,
he brought her back
in the moment. I was like, when did he save her?
I mean, I was just assuming like there's some kind of thing where he saved her. But yeah, that was like weird. And then she walks out.
Was she doing this to make Angel like, this is what I'm saying. It's all over the place. Like, is like, what?
Well, yeah, because like Angel says that he misses her or missed her. She's like, I missed you too. But then she's trying to make Angel jealous, or is she trying to make Willow jealous? Like, Willow looked sad. I mean, Angel looked sad. Like,
Cordelia looked pissed off, which I also was. I get what she was saying later, but Cordelia seemed to care way too much.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so let's just get to that. Yeah. Like, Buffy leaves the Bronze, kind of like cold shoulders, like Angel. Mm-hmm. She goes out, Cordelia follows her out, and Cordelia's basically like, I don't know what happened to you, dude, but you've been a bitch since you got back. And take it from a bitch. You're being a bitch.
She's like, are you gunning for a bitch of the year? And
yeah.
Buffy's like, oh, you're the, like, I don't know. She has a
worried that you're not going to have the crown or something.
And I was like, well, Cordelia, you really, this was the breaking point for you? Her dancing with Xander?
Yeah. Like, you've been trashing Xander since the unaired pilot. Since before this was even a thought.
But she goes on to be like, hey, you got close friends, and I pushed enough people away to know, like, you don't want to do that when you need them. And also, there's a little bit of Cordelia being worried that if Buffy goes off the handle, like, no one's going to be able to stop all this weird stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Which I got to give credit to Cordelia being the only person that's like, hey, like, we need you really, really bad. And you fucking up is going to mess up my whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I keep almost dying all the time, including right now.
Yeah, because as soon as Buffy turns her back, a group of vampires grab Cordelia and take her away.
I'm like, geez, Cordelia, you're kidnapped every episode almost.
Yeah. She's the damsel in distress of this thing, and it's like, she's not even likable. Why are we trying to save her?
Yeah. But she's making sense. But man, she's not like, she's got some issues.
Yeah. So they take Cordelia to some weird basement, and Miss Calendar is there.
Mm-hmm.
I forget, did we see her get kidnapped?
No, she's just there, and Cordelia's like, oh, Miss Calendar, are you all right? And I'm like,
yeah.
Deleted scene or something, or what? Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
So
Buffy's walking home, I guess, and she wants to go visit. She wants to pay her respects to the Master. She wants to go visit his grave, and then she sees that his remains have been dug up. Vance.
Dum dum dum. I got a question for you.
Sure.
Did you think she was? Because they kind of I think they're probably going to bring this up next. But did you think that she was possessed or something? Or did you think something was happening?
I thought that something bad happened to her. I thought that, I mean, from the last season, like how it ended, I thought that she might be like a half a vampire. I think those are called dampiers. So I thought that she might be one of those.
What's a half vampire?
I think it's like if a vampire and a regular person have a kid, that's called a dampier.
Is that a daywalker like Blade?
I think the only thing that I've seen it in is like...
Because Blade's a daywalker, and he's a half vampire, half...
Okay.
I think a vampire got bit... his mom got bit by a vampire when she was pregnant.
Okay, so I'm taking my knowledge from Castlevania, where Dracula has a kid with just a regular human lady, and then I don't know if he can walk during the day, but their kid is a dampier.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, the next scene is Xander, Willow, and Giles talking about how they think that Buffy might be possessed or something.
Well,
and
I really thought the twist was going to be that Buffy was not Buffy. That the person that came back was some shapeshifter as Buffy, and then Buffy was going to come back and fight it. That's kind of where I was getting at.
Cool.
Because I was like, her mood swing seems like someone that's just like an alien kind of pretending, you know? So
okay, yeah.
That's what I was kind of hoping for. Not like, oh, I'm just angsty and moody and viciously flirtatious. I don't know.
Well, this scene also has my favorite quote of the episode, because Willow's talking about how mean Buffy has been, and she goes, yeah, she's acting like a real bitch. And Giles is like, we're all adults here. We kill vampires. you don't need to spell things out. I think we're smart enough to realize what you're saying. And then Xander goes, Bitka?
I wrote that down. It's so dumb, but I love it.
It was so dumb.
And I couldn't tell if he was making a joke there or if he really didn't get it.
I think the implication was that he didn't get it.
Because later he doesn't get something else that's like really like, dude.
Yeah.
You sure you're okay?
Are you sure you're the one dealing with PTSD and not Buffy?
Like, how long is the bus that you take to school?
So as they're talking about this, Buffy shows up and she's like, hey, guess what? Dummies, the master's gone. The remains are gone.
But I put sprinkles of holy water on it.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, how could he be gone? And they're like, I don't know, but he's gone. And they're going to try and like do something with it. And then the principal shows up and is kind of suspicious of Buffy for some reason. I mean, he's like, yeah, that girl's all nothing but trouble.
I get why it happens in the show, but it's weird that the principal will talk to Giles about the kids, but then Giles hangs out with the kids nonstop.
Yeah. Well, he talks shit about them and he's like, you really like these kids, don't you? They're a bunch of dummies in my book. And Giles is like, they're not that bad.
If I'm Giles, I am terrified for ending up in jail when one of these kids die from a vampire thing and I get framed for it. Like, they were like, who was the last person that saw Willow alive? Oh, it was Giles. They were walking down a dark alley together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. No, there's no police in this place.
That's true. Or they show up like 7 days later.
Yeah.
So Buffy and the team are kind of researching if there's a way to revive this master guy with the bones, and vampires are threatening Cordelia. Buffy goes to the bronze, and then
whoa, what? Whoa! You're skipping over a lot of stuff there.
Go ahead, Vance. I thought that it wasn't much consequence.
There's a moment I really like is when they're in the library and someone throws a rock through the window with the message saying that they have Cordelia at the bronze, and the rock goes flying through the window, and Buffy catches it like a wide receiver, like no flinch, 2 hands, boom, got it. Everyone else dives out of the way. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, my question here is, who threw that rock during the day?
Yeah, the Anointed One.
They can't.
No one would suspect a little Steve
But can he
Jobs.
walk outside during the day?
Oh, well, is he a vampire?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all been bitten.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I was like, who throws this rock? And you have to go on campus to do it. But
yeah, that's true. You have to like be there.
Yeah,
actually there.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen that like alternative view of like the vampire throwing it and then like running.
Yeah,
like
just has the umbrella and like a coat on and like mask.
Yeah. So yeah, after that, like they're threatening Cordelia, and they're like, if you don't come to the bronze, we're gonna like beat up Cordelia. And then Buffy's like, you know what? I'll go do it. I'll save her like I always do. And everyone's like, hey, well, why don't we come and help you like we always do? And Buffy's like, no, you're all worthless. I'm the only one that can do anything. You just hold me back. You're all pathetic.
More or less, yeah. It's just like, they're like, I can't keep you guys around when you're not helping me. And they're like, oh, they look like scolded puppies.
I mean, even Giles is kind of like, hey, I mean, I can help at least. She's like, go back to your books, nerd.
And Giles, you can't help. Like, honestly.
Yeah. So then she's walking to the bronze, and then Angel shows up, and he's like, hey, you going there alone? That's pretty dangerous. And then Buffy's like, what, do you want to fucking go, bro?
Yeah, now Buffy wants to fight Angel, and she's like, let's go. I know you always thought that you could fight me. You think you can take a Slayer? Huh? Couple rounds? Like, I was like, geez.
Yeah, and Angel's like, I don't want to fight. I'm just like concerned about you. And she's like, no, come on, let's fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a Xander dance maybe, but like.
You think you can take me? You think you can take the Slayer?
It's like, wow, she is on one. And you know she can beat up Angel. She threw him out that window.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So then after their little mini tussle, she just goes to the bronze. And there's a girl that's laying on the floor, and she's supposed to be like a fake Cordelia. And Buffy's like, look, I know you're not Cordelia, dude.
It's like, it saves the vampires like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, it's so dumb. Why not even, the vampires are stupid.
Yeah. And then so the vampire just turns around, and she's like, all right, you got me. And then Buffy beats up that vampire. Then they find out basically that it was a trap to lure Buffy away from Xander, Willow, and Giles, because in order to revive the Master, they need to have the blood of the 3 people that were closest to the Master when he died.
And by vicinity, not by the other meaning of closer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Buffy, because Buffy is like, I was the one closest to the Master.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think in any sense she was the one closest to the Master, like, even, like, relationship-wise or vicinity-wise. Like, I don't know what she was thinking.
Yeah, and where was, because they go back, so we see the vampire surrounding everyone, and Giles is like, this is troubling. And they all have weapons out, too. They're, like, polishing weapons during the scene where they realize this. And I'm like, this is awesome. I can't wait to see Xander with that sword swinging and like running around like the library fight scenes are fun. Like you got books, you got shelves, you got, whatever. Also, vampires inside the library did not ask permission. They're just there. They're just inside.
That's true.
Like, I don't even know why they ever set that up.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy that they had a whole episode related to that. And then Buffy and Angel go back there, and they show up, and it's just Xander, and he's got like a bloody mouth, like he's been punched a bunch, I guess. And they took everyone else, but they didn't take him. And I don't remember where he was.
He was with Angel, fighting other vampires.
Some people had to wait a whole season before they watched these episodes.
Yeah.
We only watched them like weeks apart, and I don't even know.
Yeah. So he's still there, and Buffy's like, where's everybody else? And Xander's like, vampires took him, dude. If we would have all been together, this wouldn't have happened. And then Buffy's like, all right, you're right. She's like, well, let's figure out where they are. And then Xander grabs her and says, if they kill Willow, I'll kill you.
It's like, if they hurt Willow, I will kill you. And he said it with such venom.
Conviction, too, dude.
I was scared. I like jumped back. I was like, oh, man. Like I believe he will.
It was what, but it was also like, in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, but how?
She's gun.
She's still susceptible to bullets. She's still
or poisons, we learned. Yeah, he would figure some way out. He's dumb, but he's got vampire skill, vampire level intelligence.
It would have been fun. So, I mean, obviously Willow doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, Willow's not going to get hurt. He's not going to kill Buffy.
But what a fun twist it would have been to see Xander turn into a bad guy and trying to kill Buffy. That would have been a crazy storyline.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little early in the show for this, but I mean, this was the first thing. Like, I wish Willow could have heard this. I wish someone could videotape him saying that so she could just like play that at night when she goes to sleep. Because she needs to win.
If they hurt Willow, I'll kill you. If they hurt Willow, I'll kill you.
That's all she needs. She just needs that extra. Well, actually, no. She heard that again, she'd be clinging to him for another 5 years.
Yeah. So, in order to find out where the vampires are, Buffy goes back to the fake Cordelia vampire.
We have a good friend and listener, Savannah, sent us a map of Sunnydale.
Yeah.
And these trips back and forth from the school to the Bronze
Yeah, dude. If they're walking, they're getting their steps in, dude.
Yeah. Taking their sweet time. And Sunnydale is full of cemeteries, by the way.
Yeah,
it's like 70% cemetery.
I know she said that there's potential spoilers on the map for stuff that happens later on. But I was looking, I was like, God, there's so many cemeteries.
There's cemeteries and mansions. That's all there is in Sunnydale.
And one high school.
I think there's a college too, I saw, but yeah.
Yeah, that's for like season 5.
Yeah.
But so Buffy goes back to the Bronze and she is torturing the fake Cordelia vampire, like just like venomous torture.
Mm-hmm. Like, she puts the crucifix in her mouth and closes it.
Yeah. The Anointed One has the Master's Bones, and he has Miss Calendar, Cordelia, Giles, and Willow, and they're strung up upside down on some kind of like meat conveyor belt thing.
Yeah, I was getting Walking Dead early, like season 3 or 4 vibes from that.
Yeah. Then Buffy and Angel show up to the place where they are, and Buffy just starts to beat up literally every vampire in the room, and Angel's just like sitting back looking like, holy shit, like this is. And then like Xander snaps him out of it, and they're like, hey, we gotta save the other people, and he's like, oh, okay, whoa.
Well, it's not an episode unless Giles is unconscious. Like, he gets knocked out so much in this show.
Yeah, how much brain damage? He's definitely got CTE.
For real.
From that training montage alone. Yeah.
He's always coming to, like, oh, I missed half the adventures that she's had.
Yeah. So, I mean, long story short, Buffy beats up all the vampires. Xander and Angel save all the people.
It really is a big action scene. A lot of flipping, a lot of stunt women, a lot of
high kicks.
There's the main black vampire like leaves at one point, and I thought he was like escaping to be in another episode, but he just went to get a sledgehammer.
Yep,
because he thought that would work.
Yeah,
it's like, you're a vampire guy.
It's not some like anti-Slayer sledgehammer. Yeah. It's just a sledgehammer.
Ranged weapons is what you want. Ranged weapons.
Yes, dude.
Crossbows, anything.
He comes out like Triple H with a sledgehammer. Yeah. It's like, what is that going to do?
And then the Anointed One just walks away.
Yeah,
like
what?
He's like, oh, well, all right, I'm out of here.
I mean, I didn't understand why Buffy didn't kill the Anointed One in the last season. Yeah. I don't know how he's getting away in this one, but... Yeah, the guy comes back with the sledgehammer. Buffy kills him, takes the sledgehammer, and then just smashes the Master's bones.
The way she killed... So there's 2 vampires left. And she's standing next to this, like, fire... This, like, post that has a fire coming out of it or whatever. And the one with the sledgehammer comes to her door. The other one that she didn't kill but knocked out is behind her. And one's screaming at her. The other one... They both charge at the same time. And she, like, doesn't even, like, flinch. She kind of just, like, looks and goes, oh, I'm so bored. And she breaks off the flaming one and stabs. The one guy just runs into the end of the stake. Like, I don't know what he's doing. And then the other guy runs into the flame and immediately burns up. And I'm like, what are you, vampires? Come on.
Yeah. It's like they've never seen a wooden stake before.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know their own weaknesses.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'll run chest first into this.
I mean, I think I talked about this last season, but like, I didn't realize, it'd be so easy to kill vampires. There's wood everywhere.
Does it have to be wood? I don't even know if it has to be wood.
I thought that a wooden stake had to be like blessed by a priest or something, but
no.
I mean that one vampire last season just like fell and tripped on a fence.
Picket fence. Yes. Maybe it has to be wood, but it just needs to stab the heart.
Maybe.
Because a demon, I know that little ventriloquist dummy just stabbed the heart with a knife for a demon, but who knows? These rules.
I think, like, if you just get a splinter, that vampire's
Well, she
gone.
killed someone with a pool stick early in the first season, yeah.
Well, wait, was that a dream?
No, that was the end of the first episode 2.
Right. It was a pool stick, yeah. Yeah, so she takes the sledgehammer to the master's bones and turns them into dust, and everyone's like, yeah. And then she's kind of like, I'm back to normal.
It's one of those things like, yeah, why didn't you guys do that instead of going out to a graveyard at night and burying the master's body?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I will say this. I am relieved as all hell that they got rid of the master. Like,
Same.
Nothing against the actor or anybody playing him. I don't care about
He had his arc.
Yeah.
He had his arc.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we need to bring him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then basically Buffy is like apologetic. She's like, sorry for hanging you guys out to dry. Literally. But
this last little... Well, she's walking with Giles for a minute, and they're talking, and she's like... Before that, there's Cordelia walking with Miss Calendar and talking about, oh my God, it just really weighs on you, all this being captured and stuff. They're like the stains, like you can't get these stains of rust out of your clothes. And Miss Calendar's like, yes, being kidnapped and hung out to be murdered, the stains are really the issue. I love Cordelia just got like one track.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Buffy is kind of looking at Xander and Willow in class like with puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, like she talks to Giles. Giles is like, don't beat yourself up about it. She goes to class and she's like, I don't know how I can like Buffy's like, I don't know how I can face Willow and Xander. And I'm like, Xander faced you after like remembering his like rapey vibe. I think you can handle this.
Yeah.
And she goes into class and she's all like coy and sees them and then takes a seat and then like looks at them and like doesn't know what are they gonna do? And then they start joking around randomly and then they're like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go to Bronze, yay, bye, mini golf. And it's like, it felt like a weird after school special.
Yeah, it was a weird ending.
Yeah, it just was like, I get what they were trying to go for, but it didn't I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
Well, I mean, I think that if it would have ended there, it would have been fine.
It would have been better.
It would have been better. But instead, we get cut to the Anointed One. And is he in his cave? He's in his cave.
No, he's back. He's right in the same place that they smashed.
Right. Yeah. And then he just looks up and he goes, I hate that woman or whatever. I hate that girl.
Yeah.
And then that's the episode. It's like, what a random weird cut at the end.
Yeah, he's like, oh, always foiling my plans. Like, this is your first plan.
Yeah.
Your first plan was to bring back your boss.
Like, you weren't even a part of the original plan. Like, that wasn't your plan. That was the master's plan.
Yeah, and now you're bringing back the master. I thought you, the Anointed One, is supposed to do something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we'll see what happens.
That's the end of the episode. Got any last thoughts on it there, Vance, before we preview next week?
No.
I'm glad that Buffy's back to normal, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, the title of this one was what? Bad? When she was bad. And I really wanted her to just be a badass the whole time. I kind of wanted her to have a Xander as a hyena person episode.
Okay.
I wanted her to just be like trashing them, pushing people, telling the principal to shut the fuck up, getting detention. Like, I wanted all of that. I wanted all the bad stuff. I didn't want the mopey, moody stuff. Because we get that sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. This was our episode on When She Was Bad. Stay tuned next time for when we talk about Some Assembly Required.
Mannequin comes to life? I don't know. I think
we already had a robot.
We had a robot. We've had a doll.
Maybe it's a haunted. Maybe it's the deathbed, the bed that eats, like that Patton Oswalt bit.
It's an IKEA. It's an IKEA furniture attacking furniture.
A demon malm.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Happy to have you back for season 2. We'll see you next time.
Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.